the exercise of faith. God has called us, brothers and sisters, for a victorious life, regardless and in spite of what we find or see. Are you hearing me? You've got to know, God knew the storms will come. God knew the challenges will come. And that's the reason he gave us this life. Because he didn't want us to talk about the storm, because he wanted us to focus on what he's delivered to us. Even when God is with you, challenges may come. Jesus was not only with them. Jesus had prophesied, let us go to the other side. And the storm came. This is why I told you, don't use the experiences of your life to judge God's will. God's will is known by his word. Yes. The storm never changed the will of God. Yeah. No, the storm never changed the will of God. Imagine if the disciples, when the storm was raging, they started discussing, I don't really think God wants us to go to the other side. You get that, right? Yeah. Because at times, that's the trouble that some of God's children go through. When the challenge gets raging, then Satan starts throwing his doubts. Maybe God didn't want you to be in this marriage. Maybe God didn't want you to do this business. Maybe God didn't want you to get this job. That's why the trouble is happening. And I told you, the best time to know the will of God is from the scriptures. Every time you focus your mind and your attention on knowing God from the experience of life, I can guarantee you will hear Satan. Satan speaks from the events and experiences of life. What happened with Eve is still doing it today. God's will is in his word. Are you getting that? The storm came and Jesus was in the boat and they were not debating. Maybe God didn't want us to go to the other side. Never doubt God's will for your life based on what is happening in your life. Yes. Yeah. So when the storms of life come, always remember, this is why he gave me this life. It calms the storm. Yeah. Yeah. Because look, what did Jesus use to calm the storm? He spoke to the storm. He spoke to the wind. And what did that imply? He brought out the life in him. He spoke the words of the very life. He says, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. He calmed the storm with the life in him. That's why I told you. God's perfect plan was to give you the life that calms the storm. Jesus calmed the storm with the life in him. He says, wind cease, and the wind ceased. No matter how dramatic the spectacular events are, from nowhere, the landlord issues an eviction notice to say, I'm sorry, I'm taking over my house. Refuse to panic. You have a life-giving life. We never get stranded. This life doesn't get stranded. Jesus, when he rose up from sleep, look at his first question to them. Let's go to verse 25. And he said unto them, where is your faith? Look at that. That was his first question to them. Because he was telling them, this is the essence of faith. This is the essence of faith, to live your life in whatsoever comes your way. When the storm comes, you use your faith. When there is no storm, you use your faith. That's the essence of faith, to live the life. The essence of faith is to live the life. He says, where is your faith? And also that tells us something. That means that faith is not automatic. Because if faith was automatic, Jesus wouldn't ask them, where is your faith? If faith clicks in automatically, like the way you set a genset to your workplace, where when power goes, automatically the genset just takes over. Faith doesn't work like that. Faith doesn't work automatically. If it works automatically, Jesus would not have asked them, where is your faith? The reason he was saying, where is it? Is because they were not using it. Just like there are some of you, your genset is on manual. When power goes, then you tell someone, go and switch it on. You get that, right? And that's how faith works. Faith is a manual car. Faith is an analog system. Faith is not a digital system. Yeah, faith is analog.